All right, we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Demon Appreciation Podcast. This is episode 31. I was about to say already, but this podcast has been running for over 2 years, and it was supposed to be a weekly podcast at first. So we're not doing too good. But episode 31, regardless. Today I have guests, to friends of the channel, joining me because we want to talk about Tokyo Game Show and kind of recap everything that was showed at the event and give our thoughts on the games that were showcased. I want to say it straight up before we even get into this. I mentioned the games that we'll talk about, and for the first time, there's going to be gameplay footage on screen during the podcast. So if there's a game that I'm mentioning right now that you don't know much about, well, think of this show as a great opportunity to learn more about a potential good game, right? So for Square Enix, we're doing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. For level 5 games, we're doing Deca Police. For ATLUS, we're doing P3 Reload, Persona 5 Tactica, and Unicorn Overlord, which is ATLUS Vanillaware. And we're doing Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth for Sega and RGG Studio. We will probably go off tangent and talk about multiple other things though. So it should be fun. Hey, I have friends here with me today. Jodie, thank you for joining me. How are you doing?
Yo, I'm doing well, thank you. I think it's my second time back, so yeah, very happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
We're glad to have you on. We also have John, Strain 42, returning guest as well. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Marvelous hello.
Glad to have you on board. And another returning guest would be Snarf Soldier. Snarf, how are you doing?
I'm great, David. How you doing, man?
Doing good as well. And of course, we have co-host King Narukami 45, #1 Persona 5 Tactica fan. How are you doing, good sir?
Hi, guys. I already see a comment. King being excited for Tactica? Oh, yeah. I'm going to get all into that shit here in a little bit.
Yes, sir. And since we're a professional podcast, I'm counting on the chat to tell me how my audio sounds so I can adjust things. So if someone is too loud or not loud enough, please tell me so I can adjust things. Before we get into the show, if we get super chats from anyone, that's much appreciated. You can ask a question and we'll answer it as soon as possible. Thank you in advance for that. I have YouTube members in the chat as well. If you want to tag me and ask a question, that counts as a free super chat if you want to say that. So we'll be able to answer that again as quickly as possible once we get the opportunity to discuss it. And if you could drop a quick thumbs up, it helps people find the show. It is a big help. So let's get right into it. Does someone wants to pick which game we'll talk about first?
Decapolice. That's the one you wanted to talk about, right? Decapolice.
Decapolice? We can do that. Decapolice is a game. Well, first of all, let me ask. Roundtable.
I'm glad it's a game.
It is a game. I'm being serious here. Roundtable. Everyone, do you know about that game? Do you know a little bit about it? What it is?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been following this one.
Awesome. King, John, King Snarf. Sorry.
Actually, I do not.
No. Okay.
I'm hyped for it, but I don't know what it's about.
You
So
don't know much.
I've seen like some trailers, but I've forgotten all about what it's about. So I'm interested to hear y'all's thoughts on it. I know my fiance is really excited for it, but other than that, I know next to nothing about it.
All right, gameplay's up on screen right now. So Deca Police is a turn-based mystery-solving RPG. If you look at the gameplay, when you're kind of traveling in towns, it reminds me of Master Detective Archives Raincode, which came out earlier this year. Absolutely amazing visual novel by the Danganronpa writer. I loved every second of it. Highly recommended. But as you can see, you're looking at the main character traveling around the city right now. I think this game looks awesome. Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and I think PC as well. But I'm not sure about PC, or you can correct me if I'm wrong. This game is set for a 2023 release. I don't believe it.
Wah. It's not coming in 2023. I thought at Tokyo Game Show they were going to give some release dates for these games. If anyone doesn't know, level 5 had like a 2-day like live stream and stage show there. They were dancing around on the stream singing Yokai. First of all, that don't get me started on that. Yokai Watch has been, they killed that off. But yeah, there was no delay announced for anything, and they announced earlier this year that they not only Deca Decapolice is supposed to be coming this year, but 3 other games. Two of those other games would be new, and then a re-release of Megaton Musashi, and nothing in crickets.
All dated for 2023 and no dates for any of them yet. That's crazy when you think about it. But regardless, I think Deca Police looks awesome. The visuals are great. Obviously, kind of reminds me of Ni no Kuni with the style, and that's a good in my book. And just the concept of it being a turn-based RPG, you solve crimes, you interrogate criminals. I think it looks really awesome. What do you guys think?
I'm really excited for it. I will say, and maybe some of the chat feels this way just from looking at the footage and everything. I'm very excited. I love mystery games. They're some of my favorite video games of all time, and all that good stuff. Something I see a lot, like every time this game comes up, is people are like, it's Ace Attorney meets Persona. And y'all know me, I love both of those series, but for some reason, I get really annoyed when people describe this game like that.
That's
like,
fair.
I don't know why. I feel like that's taking away whatever identity this game is trying to have, because I think it does have the potential to be a really good game on its own and a really good thing. And I think people just trying to shove it into Ace Attorney meets Persona is really limiting it.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, that's just, but I think the game looks great. I'm looking forward to it, whether it comes this year or not. But yeah, I think it looks awesome. It's a day one purchase for me. I always like level 5 stuff. So.
Now, John, I know you're really excited because it looks like Danganronpa a little bit too. I know you love Danganronpa.
I love Danganronpa. Actually, just to clue in the chat, I actually do. I describe Danganronpa as my least favorite games that I've finished all the way through.
You know what? I can totally see where you're coming from. And I only played the first one and the second one. Loved the first one. I thought the concept was great. Characters were good and intriguing, and the story was great. But then I played 2, which I think is one that most fans really praise and like. But by the end, I was like, I'm glad this is done, to be honest. And I'm not looking forward to playing 3 as of now. But I adore Drain Code. I prefer Drain Code over Danganronpa, to be honest. But that's probably just me.
I don't want to derail the conversation too much towards Rancode. I liked Raincode more as a game, but I thought it was really lacking as a mystery series. Like, I felt most of the cases were really easy. And I didn't really feel clever solving them. I had fun solving them, but I didn't feel clever. Which is something I like in mystery games.
That's fair. I think it looks good. I've heard the comparisons as well with Ace Attorney and stuff, and I can kind of see it, kind of Professor Layton a little bit as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's level 5 at least. That's definitely them using their penchant for puzzles.
I really do wonder what is going on with that game, though, and I did a video about it this week. I wanted to talk about Deca Police on the channel, and I did. And the topic of discussion was the release date, because I figured that would be a good thing to discuss. 2023, obviously, we're all in agreement here that it's not coming out this year. There's 2 months left. I don't know what they're waiting for to date it or to talk about it and how it is delayed, because apparently even at Tokyo Game Show's floor there were discussions at the level 5 booth, and potential employees saying that the game would get delayed. I don't know how reliable that information is, but I've seen that on Twitter, so I think that's not a surprise to anyone actually.
It'll come out really Friday. It'll come out Friday, December 29th, 2023.
It would be a 2023 release then, but even
so
early 2024.
No, I think it'll probably just come out next year.
I hope it releases a little later though, because there's no room.
The onslaught. Yeah, I think I think that they are maybe a little bit embarrassed, because if you remember, they revealed these games in the Nintendo Direct in like February. And then they had their own level 5 vision, like this big presentation where they sort of presented all these games and saying they was all coming out this year and they're making a big comeback and they want to publish globally again, and they made a really big thing about that, and said all of them except for Professor Layton was coming out this year. And I think for them to do that, and that's their big comeback, and then, now presumably, like, I mean, for one game to get delayed maybe out of 2023, you'd understand. But they said all of this, they said like 4 games were releasing this year, including like Inazuma 11, which has been like in development hell for years and years. Fantasy Life, a new Fantasy Life, and like I said, a re-release of Megaton Musashi. I think it's gonna have like more content and stuff, and they're gonna release it internationally. I think that they made so many promises about their big comeback that maybe they're a little bit embarrassed to like give. I mean, this is just my speculation. I don't have any evidence of this. That they're a little bit embarrassed of like talking a big talk, and then like we're like, well, your games look good. This fantastic. They come out this year. They come out this year, and then like no information, no updates, or no delays. That's what I think. I think the game looks amazing. When this game was first revealed in the direct, I was, I didn't think it was level 5 for a second, because I was like, level 5 were donezo.
Yeah, they were.
It's like, I didn't come at level 5. It's level 5. Oh my god. And then they had several more announcements in that two more announcements in that direct, which was extremely surprising. And I was like, okay, so they're back. And I remember at the time, people were saying to me, level 5 is back, level 5 is back. And I said, I will not say they are back. I will not say they are back until these games are coming out. We've got release dates and these games are coming out. So I cannot bring myself to say it. I cannot accept it. I cannot accept that they're back until I can pre-order this game. At least I can pre-order it. I can't do that yet.
That's totally fair. That is totally fair. Let me ask Snarf and King real quick, since you guys didn't know much about it. Now that you heard what they're going for with this game, and potentially you watched the footage here, what do you think of it? Is it a game that you are looking at least, or considering?
Well, for me, I mean, like, it just depends on when it releases and what else is going up against it. But like, let's say it's early 2024, for example, that's going to be, yeah, it's put a fork in it. It's done. Like, I'm not checking it out until like it's on sale towards the end of the year, maybe. Right. But like, the concept to me seems cool, and the art style is cool. And if the Danganronpa writer you said is on it, that's also a good thing. So, like, to me, it's got potential, but it's all about that release date and when I can feasibly check it out.
Totally fair. The Danganronpa writer, that was for Raincoat, though. That's the complete.
Oh, for Raincoat, sorry.
Yeah, completely different studio, but still, I'm glad to hear you're interested. And I think what you brought up is a very interesting point to discuss. It depends for people who look at this game, and it's a new IP, so there's a lot of those people are looking at the game and they're like, okay, it looks good, it has potential, but let's say they're not a huge level 5 fan. They look at this and they're like, yeah, it looks cool, we'll see when it releases. So if they drop it like end of January or in February, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot. So right now I'm like, if they want marketing, they probably have to aim for like late March or early April or something.
Yeah, I think April would be a good time, honestly, if they can pull that off.
They gotta release it in that 1 week.
No, please no.
That same week when everything else is coming out.
Is that the beginning of January or like April then?
A beginning of January, late December would make sense, but it depends on how much time and effort they want to put into marketing. Yeah, we see big games with little to no marketing near launch nowadays, so everything's possible. But it's level 5, and I think they're scared right now. They
need all the marketing they can get. They can't be having like a really super short. I mean, I guess marketing has started, but this is, like you said, not everyone even remembers level 5. So exactly. They really need to be like introduce this game to people like this on the merits of the game itself, not just their name.
Mm-hmm. King, did you have anything to add, Decapolice?
I think they're on crack if they think that they're going to release all those games before the end of the year.
Oh, that's not happening.
It's not. I think the game looks great, but if it comes out February 2nd, we ain't played that.
Nope.
Like I'm gonna still be on Infinite Wealth, bro.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair.
Also, real quick on the subject of level 5, I am so looking forward to that new Fantasy Life. Like, Fantasy Life is one of my favorite 3DS games. I'm very excited it's getting a sequel.
I'm glad you're bringing it up because I didn't have it on script here for the show. But yes, it's interesting, and that's another game that they all announced those games in the same direct. They didn't need to do that. That there was no reason to do that. Like Professor Layton, we saw like 20-second of footage, and that was like cutscenes. It's like, I know you want to get fans excited, but if you do that and then don't talk about any of those in years after that, it's kind of like, why did you do that?
They overpromised. They overpromised, I think, because they could have come just with like just 2 of them. They could have said, well, with just Deca Police and just or Fantasy Life, or Inazuma 11. They didn't need to come with like, well, we're releasing 4 things by the end of the year, and then with Professor Layton, and then or 3, however many it is, all these games in such a short span, and that's why everyone thought there was going to be updates at the Tokyo Game Show, but they're like their stream thing, but it was just basically them looking at the trailers and doing like these weird little skits in it, and then they had their 2-day. Oh no, it was a waste of time.
I remember I
just didn't get it.
It was super early, and I was at the gym like early morning, and I was working out, looking at that stream, and I was like, why the F are they doing this? That makes no sense. I was like, nice, we'll see more Deca Police and Layton in just a few days after the direct. But then it was a worthless presentation. I think they need to be careful. Level 5, they're in a spot where they cannot do too much. They have to do just enough and release their games at just the right time, because otherwise it's not looking too good for them once again. Oh well.
Yeah. And if I may use this, I think this is a good chance to kind of segue into our next conversation. You know who else used to have a really bad habit of announcing games with no information too early? Our good friends at ATLUS. So maybe that's... I think they did a little better with these ones, obviously, but I'm getting flashbacks to SMT5 in January 2017.
Project ReFantazio in 2016.
Project ReFantazio. The spark of what would eventually become Tokyo Mirage Sessions before they even knew what the game was going to be.
Persona 5?
Persona 5.
Yeah, P5, that's true.
To be fair, P5 was like genuinely delayed. They probably did plan on getting stuff out for that a little sooner, but yeah.
I think they like financially in trouble and they kind of had to like rush the reveal or something.
Yeah, wasn't there also like an earthquake? Not important. We can move on. But yeah, we kind of going to segue into ATLUS a little bit now.
We can absolutely do that. Let's transition.
Good on level 5?
Yeah, we're good. Let's move on to Persona 5 Tactica, King's favorite game. Persona 5 Tactica, November 17th, 2023.
And we're moving on to the next game, guys. Persona 3 Reload is coming out.
No. We'll discuss Tactica here. Is anyone excited for it? I am, honestly.
No.
I am.
I'm no, because they released it by Super Mario RPG.
But that's only because I haven't played Persona 5.
Okay.
I might be excited for it.
You didn't play P5?
Listen. I never said I was a genuine ATLUS fan. I'm here fraudulently. You know that. You knew it already when you invited me. Okay.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. If you want, I have like 10 copies. I can send you one if you need one. But I'm sure you own it already.
I have multiple copies.
That's what
multiple.
I thought. Okay, that's fair.
You sound like a true P5 fan.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Persona 5 fan excited to play it for the first time.
Okay, so David, let me just say that I think that King and I are on the same page here. Like, we didn't need another P5 as much as we love it. I think that they could have waited on it, but the concept is cool,
Mm-hmm. Well,
is it?
That's what I was about to say. King isn't exactly on the same page. I think we can all agree that it's good for P5. It's enough. Like, we're good. It's a lot. I mean,
I need 8 more Persona 5 games over the next 3 years.
Oh God.
I need Persona 6 to be Persona 5 too.
This spin-off...
I'm obviously kidding, just to clarify.
Yes.
Definitely kidding.
See, this P5 Tactica on paper should be the P5 spin-off that I would be the most excited for. And on the opposite, it's the least I was, kinda. If you count dancing, maybe not, but otherwise it's the least that and that's because there's too much B5 right now. That's the only reason, and there's so much else releasing near it that I'm like, I'm kind of good. I certainly will play it, but I'm huge into strategy RPGs. I'm huge into tactical RPGs. So for me, it's like, and I'm obviously huge into P5 and Persona, so there's no reason for me not to be excited for it. It's enough. I'm good.
I can explain why. Right? It's because as you first said, Atlas has milked Persona 5 a lot. The other thing is, and I have to bring it up. The art style. Now, it's not that bad, but
it's not that
great
we've already had a chibi style Persona game, the Persona Q games, and those were fine. They worked well on the 3DS.
But these looks worse.
It's like that, but kind of not. They at least had charm. They were kind of charming and kind of cute. These are, because I think it's all because we've already been seeing those. We're kind of spoiled by it. These are kind of just like stretched out, which is kind of odd. And I think the other reason why you haven't brought this up, David, and I think this is why you're salty, because this is replacing the Devil Survivor games most likely. I think Atlas is not bringing those back again, and I think this is the replacement. Like no Devil Survivor, no more SMT spin-offs other than the Soul Hackers 2, but that flopped. We don't talk about it, and so this is the all Persona spin-offs are replacing SMT spin-offs, David, and that's what's happening, and that is the thing. You're salty, like you can just say it. Okay.
It potentially has weight, but I still feel two things actually. SMT Cross Fire Emblem, that still needs to happen at some point.
It did.
No, it didn't.
They had their chance.
No.
They effed. Am I allowed to swear on the show? No. They effed it up.
They certainly did. But they need to give it another shot, and Devil Survivor would work extremely well in modern days. They need to give it a second chance as well. But regardless, yes, I agree the art style is kind of like, it's your generic brand, right? Versus the real brand that is B5, so but then again, I think
Morgana looks cute. Like all the artwork I've seen of Morgana is really cute.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just kind of like, it's not exciting.
Looks like a fucking hot dog.
Who?
Have you seen those images of her just looking like a fucking hot dog when she bends over and shit?
Who?
It's embarrassing.
Who?
On.
Oh, I didn't notice.
She's built like a fucking hot dog, dude. This game is so
Can't get that
embarrassing.
image out of my head now.
This game is so embarrassing. It should be a game that everyone's excited for, but it's the game that no one gives a flying fuck about. Because look at this. Look at how it was announced. It was announced alongside ReFantazio and Persona 3 fucking Reload.
That's tough.
Like,
yeah.
Right.
It had no.
So we are allowed to swear then.
Oh yeah, we
Technically, it was announced on a leaked Instagram trailer.
Yeah, leaked by Atlas.
That's true. It leaked. Yeah, because Atlas is
forgot to schedule post.
Happens all the time, or when they do, they make it unlisted so we can find it ourselves, which is what happened with Strikers.
This is
I
the
would
thing.
much rather prefer Strikers 2 than this abomination of a fucking game.
Oh no, Strikers was mid. I think this has more
Didn't
potential.
you say you was the one that was excited? Hang on. So wait. You was taking it. So because you were saying you was excited for this game.
He's
Did
not.
you say you didn't like Strikers?
No, you said you was excited for this one. This Tactica.
Tactica, Tactica
one-
has more potential. Strikers was mid.
Dude, shut the fuck up.
I like Strikers. I just don't like this one.
Oh well.
Striker was actually like, this game has like zero fucking like, this is an insane cash grab. It has like zero, it's like basically just Fire Emblem with a bunch of Persona Chibi characters.
You're being a dumbass. You're being a dumbass right now. Now, one thing that we can all agree on.
Thing about this game that's exciting. No one gives a fuck.
But like you said, King, nobody gives a fuck because they announced like those other games. They've given Atlas doesn't normally, and I know they do announce stuff far out, but they announced like a whole bunch of things, at once, and I think maybe originally they were planning to have, each thing would have had a bit more breathing room, a bit of a marketing breathing room, and a bit more of a, its own little slot. And I think if we had got this game in a more like a dry spell, for ATLUS games, people would have been, we didn't know about the other stuff. People would have been looking forward to this more. I feel like people's tune would have been a little bit different, but ATLUS in their infinite wisdom decided to announce all stuff. Like, you know why they announced it all at once? Because they took a bag, because they wanted that Microsoft bag, and Microsoft was like, you can only do it if you announce a whole bunch of stuff at once. That's what I think anyway. That's my theory.
Persona 5 Tactica is uninspired. Even if it came out at a good point, I wouldn't care about it, because it takes place during Persona 5. There's no stakes at all. Everyone's gonna be okay. We already know what's gonna fucking happen. I mean, it's just the art style's ugly. Mario RPG's releasing the same exact day. Jesus Christ, who made that decision?
Oh yeah,
it's a third-party game. If it was a first-party Nintendo game, then yeah. But they're different games. It's gonna do fine. I do feel the need to say it.
This shit.
Let me say it. Hey, for people in the chat, I am excited for Tactica. I pre-ordered it and I will play it probably day one. It's just these people here with me are not excited for it for multiple reasons.
Bro, you are the biggest fucking simp for this game I've ever seen. Bro,
I'm not
gonna fuck you, bro.
I just said a second ago.
For it. I'm just waiting for the yelling to stop.
Good, perfect. Okay, we have a second person.
Is everyone in Tactica? Are y'all in Tactica gonna get a divorce? Yeah. So I have kind of mixed feelings about Tactica. Like for the most part, I am excited for it because I do not have Persona 5 burnout. I love this cast. I'm happy to see them again, even if it is on something that is mostly inconsequential. I love strategy RPGs, so this is something I've wanted for a while. Excited for that. That said, yes, I do have a couple of big issues with Tactica because it is not, I feel, living up to the potential of what Strikers kind of managed to do. Like, okay, for one, getting this out of the way, y'all, anyone who follows me on Twitter knows this is how I feel. I am bothered that this is a Persona game where we are, so far, maybe the final release will change this, we are not seeing any new Personas. I hate that Arena does not get a Persona. I don't know if Toshiro is eventually gonna get one and join up. I don't know. I like seeing new Personas in this game. It's a big thing I loved about Strikers. I loved Valjean. So I don't like the I don't like the lack of new Personas. That's bothering me. And I also feel like, unlike Strikers, this is not expanding the lore. Like, I always felt, I'm not going to go into any spoilers here, but for anyone who played Royal, Jose's story kind of ended on a cliffhanger. I don't know where they're going with that or what their plan there was. So I was kind of hoping whatever the next Persona 5 game might have expanded upon that, but we don't seem to be getting that. So it's like, I am excited because it's a Persona 5 tactics game, and I like that, but God, I do feel they could have been doing more, and I'm not really loving this panty and stocking style artwork. It's a little strange to me.
Do you think they put that much effort into it though? I don't think they're gonna answer the questions that we have that you mentioned. I think it's gonna be like not a bare bone experience, but it's kind of like it's gonna be a standalone thing. And some of the most important characters in the P5 universe are DLC, paid DLC, with Kasumi and Akechi. Just that alone tells me that they're not that.
Wait, are they?
Yeah, they are.
They added the characters. You see, this is ATLUS and their fraudulence. This is exactly what they do. They sell you something, but they sell you half the game, and then you got to buy it back with DLC. Like looking demons behind, but Mara behind DLC, and goddamn, what was that game? Like that Mara's DLC, Soul Hackers 2. One of the most popular demon locked behind DLC.
You opened the door for a transition here, Jodie, so I'll take it. You mentioned games that are not complete at launch. Let's move on to Persona 3 Reload, remake of Persona.
Here we go.
Persona 3 is getting remade. That's a game that we're, I assume, more excited for than Tactica. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Nah.
Oh, and that's a big P3 fan here, so.
Bro.
I have not played. Yes, unfortunate. I know. I have not played Persona 3. If I was going to play Persona 3, I think I'd actually play the portable one first, because since that's going to be the most complete version of the game. And then
I'm not so sure about that.
Unlike some people, I don't mind going back to old games.
I don't mind either. I played portable like 2 or 3 years ago on my PSP with my UMD. That's not the issue. The issue is the version probably is not the best one. That version. You should play... honestly, you should probably just play Reload.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Or just
yes.
I have a friend that's also never played Reload, and what I recommend to them, and I'll recommend this to you too, is at this point, just play Reload when it comes out, and then if you play portable, because she's obviously not in Reload, play portable and then play like Kodone's route. And that's a good way to experience that and kind of see that other side of the story. Because that's kind of what it feels like portable is for at this point, is just to have Kodone on modern consoles.
Okay, but
it is
John,
$20.
it is pretty cheap, yeah. John, you're big into P3, right?
I love Persona 3. It is my favorite entry in the franchise.
Okay, so let's say Jodie tries Persona 3 Reload. She thinks it's good. But it's good. It's a B tier type of game. Is it worth it to go back and play Kotone's route in portable?
If you play Persona 3 and you like it, then yes, I absolutely think it would be worth going back to.
But if you think
Kotone's
it's a
route.
B tier game, would you recommend her to spend 100 additional hours into the portable version? You would? That probably Yeah,
I probably still would.
So you see, you think there's more added value to the portable version than I think, and I get it, and a lot of people do. To be honest, I get confronted with that opinion of mine all the time.
I guess it also depends on like if certain things from portable wind up not being in Reload, like. Because they were saying, and this is something I think is a little disingenuous on Atlus's part with what they've announced, is they were like, when people were like, hey, where's Kodone? Where's the answer? They were like, oh, it's not a remake of FES or Portable, it's a remake of Persona 3. Yeah. And then pause, and then it was like, but here's all the stuff from FES and Portable that we are keeping, that we are putting in the game.
Yeah.
So it's like, just say you don't want to do the answer or Kodone. Like,
yeah.
I'd have so much more respect if they just admitted that.
Typical.
Yes. I agree.
Instead of just trying to be like, no, we want to remake just Persona 3. It's like, but that's not what you're doing.
Nope. Yeah, exactly. They're afraid of their fans, it feels like at times, but I mean, I think the game looks good though. It's a full-on remake, as we mentioned, of the original game with content from FES. Sorry. It looks really good. Unreal Engine, right? Visuals looks awesome. Soundtrack is very different in that one, apparently. Voice acting, brand new cast of voice actors, so I'm really excited for it. There is indeed DLC, but it's mostly cosmetic, so I don't think that's as much of a big deal as in Tactica.
DLC for this goddamn game when it's all
brand new cast asterisk except Elizabeth.
Oh, really?
I think is still Terra Plot.
Oh, wow.
I think that was still her, which actually I was joking about this, but at this point I actually have a theory that like FES and Reload are two separate timelines, and Elizabeth can travel between them, and that's why like it's one Elizabeth between two timelines. I said that as a joke, but now I'm like committed to it.
That's kind of cool though. That's a theory that I kind of want to believe. So anyone wants to give their opinion on Reload?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is what I want to say. Right. This whole Reload situation is going to be literally one of the most fraudulent things that ATLUS has ever done. Right? Because if you remember their surveys, they do these surveys all the time, but these surveys are done for years, and then they would announce a year or two ago, it's almost a couple of years ago, the results, and then Persona 3 was the one that people most wanted a remake for. And the reason people most wanted a remake for it is because there was and still is no definitive edition, no definitive version of the game. That's really what people were wanting. Otherwise, I think maybe they would have said, "Oh, can remake 1 or 2 or something like that." So for them to remake the game, and like I think was it John or Snafu said they're afraid of their fans, and that's why they haven't really given all the details and stuff like that. And I think like, because they're kind of acting like, oh no, we just wanted to make this pure version of the original Persona 3, but then as you mentioned, they've put a little bit of the content of some of the other one, a little bit, but if that was the intention, then they shouldn't be afraid of any fan feedback. And the fan feedback is people basically that are not happy because they did want a definitive version of the game. And I think on this occasion they really should have really listened. Now it might not have been feasible or it completely to put like absolutely everything, but I think if they had at least tried to incorporate the female protagonist in this version, it would have been a much better situation. I think there would be people are pretty excited for it, but I think it's because it's going to be like a new game to a lot of people, because I know even though they've just released P3P, like not everyone's played that.
Nope.
And some people don't like going back to old PSP games and
that's a very good
PS2
point.
games. So a lot of people probably jump into this for the first time. But I do think it's fraudulent of them to make this game, but like not really the reason people really wanted a remake. Because like I said, otherwise why make this one and why not make maybe one or two those games that are completely MIA that you cannot play on modern. There's no way of playing those games on modern systems at all. There's not even ports on modern systems. They haven't even done that. And many other, I'm getting started on that. Many other games. But yeah, no, I honestly think that they kind of created an issue and a controversy where they didn't need to. They could have been 100%. Atlus could go down as fan people love the developers, fan favorites, gods of development, everything. All they had to do was make a definitive version of Persona 3. I don't know, man.
I totally get those complaints, and I won't go against anyone mentioning them. At the end of the day, as you said yourself, Jodie, I think a lot of people are looking at this as a brand new game, mostly P5 fans, because again, this looks like P5. Even if people don't want to hear it, it looks like it. To someone who's new to Persona, it is basically like P5. It's another game though. So I think they know that they can sell that game easily without it being complete. Does that excuse what they're doing? Not necessarily, but I think that's why a lot of people are still very excited for that game, myself included. It looks good. They're doing it, I think, a good job of it. Obviously, I've not played it, but it looks absolutely great. Regardless of the content missing, I'm very excited for it. Anyone else feels that way? Or are we like too bummed out with the missing content? Which I get, again.
I will say, yes, I'm bummed about the missing content. Because, like, one of the things a lot of people say, like, anytime I mention, including the answer or the possibility of the answer, people are like, oh, but the answer sucked. And it's like, yeah, that's why I want it. This was their chance to fix it.
Yeah.
To make it better. But I will say this, to kind of end my thoughts on Reload, I don't want to focus on it too much because I know we got other games to talk about. I am so very excited that they are going to explore Strega more, because they were very underdeveloped characters, and I am very eager to see what they're going to do with them. Like, I joked earlier, like, that, I feel like, oh god, I'm blanking on his name. Jin. I almost said Jun, that's Persona 2. Jin got more character development in that trailer than he did in the entire original game. So I'm very excited to see where they're going to go with that and what they're going to do.
Totally.
Yeah, like, I just want to echo what John was saying about Strega, because like, I just got done playing P3P a couple months ago, and so it's still fresh in my mind, and it's like, yeah, these are the bad guys, but they're just bad because they're bad, and you don't really know a whole lot about them. So if like he said, they're explaining it more in depth in the story, which is going to be awesome to see. And another thing too is like I like how they made the UI really like flashy, and they made the art style, really cleaned up and sort of, I guess, for lack of a better word, vibrant. But like I'm excited for it. Like I got the collector's edition on pre-order already, just because I think that what they're offering in that collector's edition is pretty good. So for what you're spending your money on it, I think it's worth it. But yeah, I mean, like I just wish that it was coming out in like March instead of February. But
and that's a long game too. I know you're looking at February 29th here, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, I think what you brought up, Snarf, is really interesting about the menus and how good it just looks. It fits in that style. It's crazy. This game is 15-year-old, and I'm looking at the gameplay footage from Faz's channel here, and it's like, damn, this looks like a brand new RPG. It looks great. It really works in that style, and I'm very excited for it. King, we heard you loud and clear about Tactica. We want to hear you about Reload now. What do you think? Where are you at with it?
I think it looks amazing, and not to shit on anybody, but I think my whole process into this is thinking, if you expected a definitive edition of Persona 3 for this, I think you were setting yourself up for failure, because Atlus has proven time and time again, when the time comes, they tend to under-deliver on some of the stuff that they do.
Sometimes, King, I'll just say, I was not expecting because I know Atlus in their ways, so I know what they're like. It's not me. Like I said, I've never even played Persona 3. I had no expectations. I think this is the first time I've even seen this footage. This game looks amazing. This game looks amazing.
Yes, it does.
I still think they should give the fans what they want.
Oh, I 1000% agree with you. It's just when I think of Atlus, I'm like, they're probably going to like really under-deliver on this thing, or like charge DLC for the answer, or Katone, or something like that. The game looks fucking fantastic. I cannot wait to play the game after I beat Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, of course. I can't wait to play it. I think a lot of the issues that I had with Persona 3 are going to be fixed with this game, but there's going to be a lot of issues that are still missing. Like, I wouldn't have mind seeing the answer. I wouldn't have mind seeing the Katone back. But I went into this thinking it's not going to happen, because they're either one, going to completely cut it because they don't want to do it, or two, sell it as DLC. And I don't think two's going to happen.
I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to. Yes. That's exactly the sort of fraudulence Atlus would do. They would make come back a year later, and they would put their DLC. Look, here you go. Here's your definitive edition of Persona 3 DLC. Let's go. $20.
It's not going to be 20.
Persona 3 Silver, Persona 3 Reload Silver Edition, or something like that.
I would think that they would charge like 30 or 40, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, you're probably right.
I'm really excited though. Like everything that I see of it, I think it looks beautiful. I think the new voice actors are great. I'm so kind of iffy on the new singer. Some of the songs she's in, she's great, and some like the remade songs, I'm like, she doesn't have the same cadence as the original singer. It's just, I gotta get used to it, but I think it's looking fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to crying at the end credits again.
Dude, what if they don't? What if they have a different ending?
Could happen. They did it before.
I mean, they could.
I know a game that everyone likes in the ATLUS community is Strange Journey Redux, and that had new endings. All right, let's move on to another game.
John over here still humming about his alternate universe theory.
Let's move on to another game that I definitely wanted to talk about, who got showcased quite a bit at TGS. ATLUS really did good at TGS this year. Unicorn Overlord by Vanillaware. Very, very excited for that one. It was announced in the Direct last week. Was it last week? 2 weeks ago? And that was unexpected. That was really unexpected. I think it looks good. It is a kind of like a strategy RTS.
Strategy RPG, yeah.
It looks good.
Strategy.
It looks good. I'm excited for it. Any thoughts?
Looks beautiful. I love Vanillaware. I'm a simp for anything Vanillaware related. So even though I'm not a big fan of the genre, I'm willing to give it a shot because it's Vanillaware. Like, I didn't like I don't like the gameplay that 13 Sentinels is built off of, but
Yeah.
my god, that story, and I just put it
insane.
on easy, and it was inconsequential, and it was, man, I'm just such a sip for everything that they do, so I'm so here for it, but I have a feeling that, like, I feel like a lot of people don't know about it still.
Yep.
Like, even though it was a part of a direct, it's like no one's talking about it. Now, I think the name's kind of badass, too. Unicorn Overlord. Like, what kind of name is that? That's awesome.
That's a fun name. I like it.
I love it.
13
Yeah,
Sentinels,
I thought-
Aegis Rim.
I thought
Those
it was
names.
like because there was unicorns in the game, but then I looked at the footage and I'm like, there's not a single.
There still could be
unicorn.
a unicorn. You never know.
Apparently, it's the rings. The rings are called. It's to do with the rings.
I'm just imagining like this unicorn god that you have to like appease or something for the end of the game, and they haven't revealed that yet. So I'm here.
You know,
for
they
it.
keep showing these rings. Apparently, it's those. That's the unicorn.
All right, so I must be the only person in here that hasn't played a Vanillaware game. So
Ooh.
No, I haven't
Yeah.
either. But you know, I'm fraudulent, so of course I haven't. And I have
yeah,
them. I bought them. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about my backlog.
Do you have 13 Sentinels on Switch, Jodie?
No, I bought. Yes, I bought it.
You should play that.
I should.
You should also
I
play
have-
P5. What are you
Oh,
playing?
I'm
What
playing-
are you playing? There's not much.
I'm playing
that is better.
Final Fantasy 16 at the moment.
Bruh.
Yeah.
oh, good shit, good shit.
Bruh. Playing mid instead of P5. Okay.
Oh, you're just mad because it's not on Switch. Shut up.
Oh, I don't care that it's not on Switch. I wouldn't play it either. If I want to play DMC, I have DMC already. You know? Unicorn
God.
Overlord. Anything else to say before I rant about FF16?
I think oh my god, I think it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. It looks really good. Their games always look stunning. To me personally, this gameplay interests. I like this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So this
same.
gameplay interests me. So yeah, when is this coming out again? I've forgotten.
It's coming out March, late March. What's the date?
24th, I think.
Right after
March
Final
8th.
Fantasy VII, I think.
That's March
Yeah.
8th, the week after Rebirth. Yeah. And let's
What?
move on to the next game,
That's
which
rough,
would
dude.
be
That's rough.
yeah. Let's do Rebirth now. We can do that.
The
Let me
time has
just
come.
throw the mic at Snarf. Let's hear you first. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, or FF7 Remake Part 2, as some would call it.
Yeah, so I was absolutely blown away by everything that they've shown. Like, it's a one-to-one open world, like just, like the original was. I mean, like, the combat has got the new synergy system included in there, so if you played Intergrade, they've kind of incorporated that, and you can
wait.
play Red 13.
Let me cut you off for a second here, because that piqued my interest. In Intergrade, you have different combat? Because I played the
Yeah.
remake, but not Intergrade.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, you need to play Intergrade. But anyway, like, so the way the remake combat system works is like a hybrid ATB system, and it gives you like a sort of like a small slow down time motion until you can pick your next attack, whether it's like magic or physical or whatever. But in Intergrade, the way it works is when you have Yuffie and Sonon, they link together, and you can do like stronger physical attacks or stronger magical attacks. It's like really fast paced, so it was really exciting and really, really fun to play it in Intergrade. But I mean, just like from the story standpoint of seeing where they're going with Rebirth, because they said it was going to basically end, I believe they said at the Forgotten Capital, I think it was. So that has like huge implications for what they're going to do with this game if they don't change anything, which they didn't. They're not going to say that, right now. They want you to experience it yourself.
Right.
So, like, I had a theory in my Final Fantasy VII Remake video that, maybe Aerith doesn't die. Maybe Cloud dies. Maybe
That's
Sephiroth dies.
definitely
Because,
an option.
as you know, like, I don't know if you guys ever saw Advent Children, but, Sephiroth has clones
Planning
as
on
well. Yeah, so, like,
Spoiler alert.
yeah, but not really.
Who cares?
Not really.
It's an old movie. Who cares?
It's not that big of a spoiler because you need to actually play more to get the full picture, but that's just like a hint of what could happen. But yeah, dude, like look at this combat right here, right now. Like they just showed
Awesome.
Alexander, they just showed Odin. Like I can't even talk right now. I'm so excited just watching it. The golden saucer. Like, I don't know if you ever played Golden Saucer in the original, but that was like one of the most fun things to do. And then they got Chocobo Racing, like that.
Yeah.
Everything is like a reimagining of the old game.
Playable Sephiroth?
Yeah, playable Sephiroth.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. The more I see about Rebirth, the more I kind of want to play it day one. But it's impossible for me to play that game day one because I want to play Reload first and, most importantly, Infinite Wealth, which comes number 1. So those are both of these I'm going to spend like 100 hours in. So there's no way in hell I'm touching Rebirth before the end of next year. But I do want to say, way more excited for Rebirth than I ever was for 16. And that's not on Nintendo Switch, King Narukami.
I also wanted to, speaking of FF7 stuff on Switch, by the way, do y'all think it's true that a remake is going to be a Switch 2 launch title?
Probably.
Well, that's not the rumor is that Square Enix tested it, not that it's going to be a launch title. But
yeah, that's true.
I mean, they tested Final Fantasy 15 on, Switch 1.
No, we have FF15 on Switch, Jodie.
We have 15 at home.
We have
I mean, you know
15
what I mean.
at home.
It's contractual obligations aside, it's possible. I think it's going to be a launch title. It's not impossible because of the rumors we've heard about Switch 2. We have to wait and see. It's not like the rumor, but it's like they tested it, which I think is believable.
Oh, I have one more thing to add too. Is they had Vincent Valentine at the end of that trailer, so that for me, like, that blew my mind. I was like jumping up and down with excitement because Vincent Valentine's like my favorite character from Final Fantasy VII, pretty much.
That's cool. I do like that we see more of Zack now. That is a character that I like quite a bit in the FF7 universe.
I love Zack. Yeah. I love Zack and Crisis.
He's in the chat, by the way, so shout outs to Zack.
Zack in the chat, yes, he is.
Wait, what?
So we're overall excited for Rebirth. I didn't hear much from John.
He didn't ask me. Go ahead, John.
I don't really have much to say about it. I like Yuffie, and I'm excited that hundreds of thousands of people are going to learn that it's not pronounced Kate Sith. That's been very funny to me to watch. People, I've already. It's pronounced Ketshi. It's Scottish.
No, shut up.
And I think it's a Scottish voice actor too. I didn't even know that.
I played Final Fantasy VII, the original, for the first time, like a few years ago, and I was just reading it, and I thought it was Kate Sith.
Yeah, I already had that discussion with a friend of mine, like, because even when I was a kid, I would say Ketshi, which it might also be me pronouncing it wrong because my pronunciation of everything is atrocious. But yeah, like, they'd be like, "No, stupid, it's Kate Sith," and I'd be like, "I'm just gonna be quiet." But
I think there was a voice actor called it Kate Sith.
I was gonna say, I don't remember. I know, like, he had a Scottish accent in Advent Children, but I don't remember if they ever actually said his name.
I'm just excited because I get to see Tifa's armpits again.
Oh boy. Okay, time to move on.
Well, if he gets to talk about Tifa's armpits, I get to talk about, where's my shirtless Sephiroth? Is he shirtless in this game?
Probably.
That's dependent on whether I play. He needs to be. They didn't make a shirtless Sephiroth amiibo, and I'm still butthurt.
If you get the collector's edition.
Player 2, shirtless Sephiroth amiibo, when he's shirtless in the goddamn Smash Ultimate. Where's my shirtless Sephiroth amiibo?
He's gonna be shirtless at some point in that
shirtless Sephiroth. I'm for it.
Same.
Yeah. You gotta get the 19 inches of Sephiroth with the collector's edition.
Oh hell yeah!
Well, actually, no, I'm not getting it because he's not shirtless, and Square Enix ripped me off with that goddamn Final Fantasy. I've got the Final Fantasy 16 collector's edition. I got the Octopath Traveler 2 collector's edition. Don't get me started on that. There's no steelbook included, and I've got the Pixel remasters thing. Square Enix be taking my money. They're not taking any more my money. I'm not supporting that company anymore. I'm not doing it.
Shirtless Sephiroth DLC, $20.
Shirtless Sephiroth DLC, yes.
This DLC,
DLC that we can all agree on.
I'll be honest, I might cave.
We'll be there.
Yes.
David, can I ask you one more question about this though?
What?
Of course. Go ahead.
So this is just.
What should we do? Sorry.
This is just a theory I have, but like, what if Zack does everything in an alternate timeline? Like, they lead you to believe that he's in the same timeline, but what if he's not? What if it's like a completely separate thing with concurrent events? Wouldn't that be cool?
To be honest, with that team, everything's possible. Nothing would surprise me at the end of the day. I was totally fine with what I played of Remake, though, and I'm looking forward to it. So, but yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Everything's possible, if you ask me.
Remake was my first Final Fantasy game.
Ever?
Yeah.
Okay, go play 6.
I've only played Remake and Crisis Core, the new Crisis Core. I'm currently playing the original FF7.
Damn. So no P5 for Jodie and only a remake for King. We're lacking culture here in the cast.
Hey, I tell a lot of people this. I didn't get into JRPGs until I started playing Yakuza, like back in like 2017. And I didn't play my first turn-based JRPG. Well, my first turn-based RPG was South Park: The Stick of Truth, but my first true turn-based RPG was Persona 5 back in like 2018, 2019, cool. Something like that. So that's cool. I wasn't into Final Fantasy and stuff. So
all right, let's move on to the last game that I wanted to talk about for today, which is my game at the moment. That's the game that I'm looking forward to the most, and I know I'm not alone with this one, and that would be Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Yakuza 8, the next mainline installment in the Like a Dragon series.
Oh
yeah,
all I gotta say,
this is huge. This really
Did
is.
you just have an accident?
I just messed my pants a little bit thinking about it.
You know how, Jodie, you ranted before about how ATLUS, they're kind of incompetent and they're not doing things completely. You should always expect less from ATLUS. RGG Studio, which is also under Sega, has to be the complete opposite. You can always expect them to, except for one decision that comes from the publisher, which is Gaiden Physical, right? I know that's fair, but other than that, they always do everything on. It's always the best as they can be. They're so great. They pump out these releases so often. They're all peak. In this game, you have two different combat systems. You have the turn-based combat system. You have the brawler system with Kiryu. Oh my god. Fantastic character all around. There's nothing that I dislike about what we have seen so far of this game.
I need to fucking... And you know what the best part is, dude? In less than 2 months, we're going to have our little taste out of demo after we play Gaiden, dude. I can't fucking wait. And everything I see about this game, I just fall in love with. Even like the Crazy Taxi ripoff minigame where like Ichiban's delivering food to people and you just like run around like his bicycle and stuff looks so much fun. It's like they took everything from Yakuza Like a Dragon and then improved it and made it even more amazing and just like didn't mess with the formula. My favorite thing is seeing Kiryu just completely say fuck this turn-based shit and just break out and just start hitting everybody in his brawler style.
I got a huge laugh out of that. That was great.
It's fucking awesome. Now, I think that the 10-minute trailer that they show, you have it on the screen right now. Yeah. I think it showed too much about the story because there's certain things in it that I think would have made for a better surprise than anything like Kiryu saying he has cancer. Like that's knowledge now.
I'm actually not looking at the screen right now because I've avoided this trailer because I'm trying to go into the game at least a little, not completely blind obviously, but I heard that about the trailer, so I'm intentionally not
that up
watching
for you.
Oh no, you're good.
I think that was that should have been a huge surprise during the game to me. I think they shouldn't have said something like that, but otherwise it just looks amazing. Everything I see of it, I'm just like I can't take my eyes off of it. I have to watch it at least 5 more times.
It's gonna be peak.
Like David, I've never actually played a Yakuza before, so like even this trailer that I'm watching now has me excited.
I'm glad to hear it.
You should see the gameplay, dude. It looks, dude. It's so great. Even the gameplay in the Yakuza Like a Dragon, the turn-based gameplay was really fun. I just beat it again recently, and I had a blast with it. And they're going to improve it even more. Like you can move your characters out there and everything, and it just looks awesome.
It's butt naked. Why? I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm
Why
just like,
not?
why?
I'm all for seeing Ichiban's buns. Ichibuns.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, since he is on the beach, I feel this is a good time I can kind of shoehorn this into the conversation. So, as someone who grew up in Hawaii, I am very excited to see where this game's going to take place and how they're going to, I don't know, normally there's we get the Yakuza neighborhoods, which are consistently just some of my favorite world maps in video games. I know frickin' oh my god, now I look stupid because I'm blanking on the name of the neighborhood. Kamurocho. I know Kamurocho better than I know my own neighborhood.
Yep.
I can be like, oh yeah, let's go to Don Quixote. That's down this way, and then. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what the kind of Hawaii world map's going to be, the Hawaiian version of Kamurocho or Sotonbori or whatever. I'm super psyched for that.
It looks fucking peak.
Everyone should give this series a shot. If you ask me, it's very
I
special.
we should. Listen, I did buy Like a Dragon 7 in a sale, although I haven't played it yet, it's in the backlog. But I wanted to know, there's so many of these Yakuza games. Should I start with 7 or should I
Yes, you can start with
number
7.
1?
You can.
If you're
You
interested
absolutely can.
Yes, you can. There's certain moments in in 7 that made me shiver and almost cry at times. It's a very special game if you are a longtime fan. Think of it as a Dragon Quest 11. Kind of the same thing. You have a lot of references that will make you feel stuff if you played the other games, but you'll still have a perfectly enjoyable time with it, even if you have not played previous entries. And I would still recommend it. It's a good entry point. You will understand everything that you'll see, but certain characters coming back, like Kazuma Kiryu, previous protagonist, when he comes back in the game, overall, a crazy moment that...
I'm seeing this for the first time. I hadn't seen this footage. They made Kiryu-san into a silver fox. He's got silver hair.
Daddy.
Daddy, let's go.
Daddy.
Yep.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. He looks quite yummy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna front.
He's the dadgin of Dojima.
Yep.
Somebody said it's Danny Trejo in the game.
He is. Yes. I can't believe they got Danny Trejo either. That's awesome.
I can. I think Danny Trejo just agrees to do most things.
True.
Yeah. They're like, hey Danny, you want to do this random role? Yeah, sure.
I have a quick question for people that have seen this footage. How do they deal with the language barrier if they're in Hawaii in this game?
Good question. In the first trailer where Ichiban is on the beach, he's speaking Japanese and the people on the beach are speaking English. So there's going to be something that's happening. Either Ichiban won't be able to communicate great with them and he's going to need some help or something. But yeah, the people on the beach seeing him were speaking English. He was speaking Japanese.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming it is because I think the caption earlier mentioned Honolulu, so I'm assuming this is Oahu, which is where I lived. There are a lot of regions in Hawaii where people speak Japanese, and quite a few locals even spoke it as a second language when I lived over there. So I don't I'm sure there will be some situations, probably some very hilarious sub stories of Kasuga trying to interact with people who speak English. I'm hoping we'll get another Visa Pizza situation.
Yes.
Can you tell me where the station is?
Dude, those side stories, I keep saying it, but I really do believe that.
Dude,
the Yakuza games have the Yakuza games have the best side quest in all of gaming by far. So enjoyable.
Damn, really?
I beat all of them for all of the games. They're just that great. Even better in Judgment. Let me just say that.
Remember in Yakuza 3, all this talk gets me remembering about that sub-story Yakuza 3, where you're trying to speak English to people, and one of the dialogue options that you can choose as Kyudo is this, it's really long spelled out. It says, "Hey, sweet cheeks." That's one of my favorite things ever. Kiryu is just an amazing protagonist, and Ichiban,
Lives up
I
to
didn't
that.
think that he would be able to at first.
It's crazy.
But as soon as I met him, dude, he's just so lovable.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were like very iffy about Ichiban. They thought he was kind of a dingus, but it's like, and he is. But that's what works. Is he's so excitable and lovable, and still has that sense of like good-heartedness that Kiryu has, and it works, and it makes him feel very distinct. And I really like both of them as characters.
He's like Kiryu in a lot of ways, but at the same time, he's almost opposite because of how much emotion and everything he shows compared to Kiryu. Or so, it's just the way he does things is a little different than Kiryu, and I think he just lives up to his legacy. It's awesome.
I think this game has a ton of potential. I'm really looking forward to it. I just hope I have enough time to beat Gaiden before it comes out.
Gaiden's only going to be a 10-15 hour game.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to do the side content though, but I don't know how much there's going to be in there. It's the first time they're doing something like this, right? It's kind of like a bigger DLC than the Kaito files is what I'm expecting.
Yeah. If you remember, I don't think you played Uncharted, right?
I have not.
If Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, that started off as a DLC and became something bigger, and it was like 10 hours long. I think we can expect something similar to this.
Also, thanks for reminding me. I still need to play the Kaito files.
It's
really
amazing.
Good. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I have. I feel like I've fallen a little to the wayside with Judgment. Like, I've been trying to play catch up with the series.
It's awesome.
Judgment's
so
kind of
much
fallen on the back
content.
burner.
Don't sleep on it though. It's really good. It really is. I waited too long to play it. I really did.
Yeah. And I saw the chat mention this earlier. And I hope this doesn't derail the conversation too much. But going back to the idea of like where to start with Yakuza, and like we said, you can start with 7. Perfectly fine place to jump into it. But I've noticed there actually is a bit of a debate amongst fans over whether it's better to start with like Kiwami, which is the full remake of 1, or 0, which is the prologue. I personally was really happy to start with Kiwami, and it made me kind of appreciate the characters in 0 more because I kind of knew what they were building towards and seeing the small building blocks of how these characters are going to progress. But I know some people like it in 0 because it's like you don't know where they're going to go yet, and you don't have that. So I feel like both of those are acceptable answers. Those are both great places to jump in. I personally, though, was very happy I started with Kiwami. So I'm curious, like, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
0. If it wasn't for 0, like, I wouldn't have had the emotional connection that I had with Kiwami, because let's face it, Nishiki isn't exactly developed in Kiwami.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, I know I'm the one who asked the question. I don't mean to interrupt. I just saw the footage. They had an ABC store there, and that made me so happy.
It's awesome.
That's like from Hawaii. Sorry, I'm seeing stuff
We
like...
have ABC stores here in North Carolina, dude.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm like, oh my god, I've been there. Like, maybe not to that exact one, but...
Ichiban's there. I've been there before, and he's there now.
I've also been in jail. No.
Oh.
Oh my god, these attacks. God damn it.
It looks awesome, dude. I can't wait.
Yeah, can't wait either. Is there any other games that you guys wanted to talk about from Tokyo Game Show? That's pretty much it for me, or at least the games that I wanted to bring up today. Feel free to bring up a few games before we leave if you want to.
Fuck limited run games.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah, can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can.
That
I'd
was-
rather have
that
those physical editions than have nothing.
Yes, I agree.
I agree, but like David, like it's so fraudulent. Them like months and months and months after the games that come out, doing physical editions that everyone begged for. Which like, why are they doing it for limited run? This is ATLUS. They're not like some rinky-dink little backwater company. They're backed by a giant mega corporation called Sega Sammy. They could easily make like the same thing for the Gaiden as well. They're not having a physical version of that, but you know that's another matter. And then to do it through limited run, which I have ordered stuff from them, and it took like. It had a couple of things that took like a year to arrive. It took a long time. I did get the stuff and they were fine condition for me, but they're controversial to say the least, because people have issues with their customer service, how long they take, and some people are saying that they got damaged stuff. There's like horror stories and stuff like that. So I do understand that people have issues with limited run. But yeah, David, King no Kami, all you Atlas stands, you've got to admit this is absolutely completely fraudulent. I want you to defend this and say that it's not fraudulent. I want to hear you say it.
It sucks. I hate that limited run's doing it. Like, why didn't Atlus release a physical themselves? They could have done a double pack.
Yes, like that mock-up you had for ages.
Like, why would they not do that? That's easy money.
I personally I've been ordering from limited run games since like 2018. I personally have never had any issues with them, besides, again, what people are saying, you have to wait. That said, yes, I think it's very strange that Atlus is doing this through them. I feel like this could have been just an Atlus store thing, like they have done with... I mean, I'm not saying I would have loved that either, but it's just weird to me that it's not. Like,
I would have rather them done an Atlus store thing.
Nope.
Dude, no. At least I know I'm getting my product at some point, not like a year down the line.
I bought once from Limited Run Games, received my games fairly quickly. But that's only one experience. I know there's a lot of other stories out there. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm going to try and see how it goes. But,
typically, if you just buy the game,
right,
you get it. It does take a little bit, especially because because it used to be limited run games would be like, we only made like 200, so if you didn't order in the first like 12 seconds, you weren't getting it. Now they do we do pre-orders and then we kind of start the production. So it's like, I get that it takes longer.
Yeah.
I try not to harp on it too much, but yeah, if you just do the game, you do usually get it pretty quickly. My advice to anyone who is going to order for their limited run games, I don't like that they do this. Never bundle anything, especially product, because limited run games does not ship things until everything in that order is ready. So for example, I ordered one game and also like some pogs in the same order, and I got the game like months and months and months after they shipped it out to everybody else because the pogs weren't ready. So that's just kind of my little tip to anyone ordering through limited run games.
Also, if you want P3P and P4G, there's only going to be like a 1 month window where you can save on a little bit of shipping and order them both at the same time. They're trying to get people in there going and place their order and then wait another month and place an order for P4G to pay for more shipping.
And that's fraudulent. It's absolutely fraudulent.
So it's
that's an issue. That's what I wanted to get them immediately, but then that's what I got. I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna have to pay double shipping. And if I recall correctly, when I pre-ordered No More Heroes on Switch, it was very expensive. Plus, I had to pay duty fees when they arrived.
And not to mention, dude, I don't know if it's in Canada, but some of limited run games, like the bigger games, like the No More Heroes and everything, you can find in like a Best Buy.
Yeah, not here in
Canada, I think that's
though.
only in the States.
Yeah, not in Canada. There's no limited run here.
But yeah, you can find them in like Best Buy and stuff after release. I'm getting the Grimoire version. I'm placing two separate orders. I'm getting the Grimoire version, and I'm getting like standard copies so I can go in and have them because I need these things. I need my P4G Switch copy on the shelf. I need it.
You see,
I'm done. It's so dirty though.
You should tell yourself. I do hate myself. King Narukami. Exactly.
I do hate myself. That's not a whether I hate myself or not. I need this shit. Like I hate this company. But I'm telling you this: if Gaiden didn't have a physical in Japan, in Asia, and they said Limited Run is doing the only Gaiden physical copy here in America, and they're going to release it, I'd buy it too.
Oh my god. This man has no morals.
Right, those are both of our top tier series though. That's normal that we're simping for them. I never buy collector's edition. Whenever something comes out and it's Atlus, I buy them.
Oh, okay. I thought you said I'd never buy collector's edition.
Except the P5R one more edition.
That's an Atlas thing.
Okay,
I buy Atlas.
I was a dummy. I bought that. I fell for it.
That was stupid.
Oh my god! I fell. Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. I missed out on the original collector's editions. I never got them. I never the PlayStation 4 back then.
I have both, and
Oh,
I got
right.
it. That's being
Let me get it. That's way dumber. But yeah, I thought, oh yeah, I'll get this one. This will be, I couldn't get those at the time, so this will be a subject. Big mistake. It's absolutely not worth it at all. It's full of.
It's garbage, dude.
It is garbage. It's complete garbage. And like, because I bought it when they first announced it, I had to pay the inflated shipping to the UK, and then they later like lowered the fee or made a flat fee or something after I'd already bloody got it, obviously.
Because they were selling.
And then they couldn't.
And now they're on Amazon.
They couldn't flip them. They put them on Amazon.
Yeah.
And there's this thing. If on the Atlas store, if you like max out like your basket with them, you can see how many they have, and you could do that. And at the time, you could see they had like thousands of them, thousands and thousands and thousands. And because I went back and checked and noticed that I was like, okay, they're not really going down, because I thought, I might say, I didn't know it was garbage. I thought they might sell out or something, right? But no, then there was this, and then you find out, they couldn't get, nobody wanted them. So it was like garbage.
Anything else we want to talk about before we wrap things up here? Tokyo Game Show or recent RPG?
So I just have two very quick games that were announced during Tokyo Game Show that I'm pretty excited for. So one, I don't remember what the new one is actually called, but they announced a new Izuna Legend of the Unemployed Ninja. I am so excited for that, and hilariously, the original Izuna games were published by ATLUS. So I don't think ATLUS is going to do the new ones, but I am absolutely shocked that Izuna is back, and I'm so happy because she is an adorable pink-haired ninja, and I love her, and I love those games. So very excited for that. She's got longer hair now. I don't love that, but whatever, I'll get used to it. And then the other game I'm excited for that they announced is Hotel Barcelona, which is collab between Swery and Suda51. That's an interesting combination.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of fun, like slasher motif, and Swery's always pretty good at making interesting protagonists. So I want to see where that's gonna go. I like the design of the character so far. But yeah, so those are just two games I'm pretty excited for that got announced. Looking forward
I remember
to both
that
of
one
those.
looking very interesting and unique. The last one you mentioned.
Yeah, the 2D side scroller, but it kind of reminds me of Swery's other game, like The Missing, the J.J. Macfield and the Island of Mystery, which I liked. So, yeah, I'm excited for this one too. It looks interesting. It looks like it's gonna have some like fun boss fights in it, and time loop mechanics and stuff.
Cool.
So
cool.
That's it for me.
Anyone else? Anything else?
Yeah, I just want to say that Atlas is a fraudulent company.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. We heard the arguments. They're good. So, not.
I guess I do have one thing, David.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I'm praying that Atlas at least gives me a break on my wallet before they drop Metaphor, because I will probably buy the collector's edition on that, and I don't want to have to do it like a month after I just bought P3 and Final Fantasy VII collector's editions.
Understandable. God damn,
Oh,
that's a lot of
Snarf.
money.
Snarf, I don't remember you saying anything about the P3P, P4G, LRG situation. Are you going to get any of that?
Oh, no, I don't really like supporting them, if I'm to be quite honest, but I mean, like, I do, like you guys, I do enjoy physical copies of games, but I just don't really like LRG that much, so I'll probably skip it. Also because I'm trying to save money for those collector's editions that are coming, so
Right,
you know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. They're putting out another collector's edition for P4G next month, so that's going to be $400 if you want both of them.
Oh, great.
So, and in addition to the Aegis edition of Persona 3 Reload here in, 4 months?
Well, some of us are not getting that Aegis edition because
That's crazy.
we're not getting. I'm not that. I might get the LEG ones. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not that dumb. I probably would get that.
See, my thing is like I'm going to put Aegis and Sephiroth next to each other on the shelf because I don't really have any statues, and those would be like the two
You'll
first
have
ones
to
that I actually own.
Yes.
Cool.
The team up we didn't know we needed.
Exactly.
Hey, Jodie, John, Snarf, King, thank you so much for joining me today. It was really fun. Thank you all who listened as well. It was fun. It was a good little time today, was it?
It was.
It was a great time.
Yeah, this was fun. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you
Tifa's
so-
armpits.
Okay, that's how we're
Tifa's
gonna end this.
Tifa's toes. Yes, Tifa's sweaty feet after she runs a marathon.
Okay, let's move on.
Buy
Thank you all.
Deca Police, support level 5. They make awesome stuff.
Yes,
play Jeanne d'Arc on the PSP. That was great.
Play Yakuza.
Support ATLUS. They're very pro-consumer.